Hello everybody and welcome. This is Tushar Chande on the week ending September 20th, 2024. The goal this week is to try and predict prices for Apple and Meta as they might be at the end of next year for December 2025. So let's get started. A gentle reminder, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results, and I'm using estimates from the industry for future earnings, so there's always some guesswork involved there. This slide shows our projected price for Apple as a 34 times multiple of the trailing 12-month earnings. The right-hand axis is trailing 12-month earnings, which is this blue line and the blue squares. The left-hand side is the stock price, and that's the orange line over here. Values from Q3 24 to the end of 25 are estimated, and you see our ending price is somewhere between 250 and 260. So let's keep that in mind. This is monthly data for Apple, and the indicator is the automatic regression channel indicator. We're looking back 50 months, and these are default values, meaning that the inner band is plus or minus 1 standard deviation, and the outer bands are plus or minus 2.5 standard deviations. So observe how it has met resistance in the general area of the upper band and support in the general area of the lower band. And we can use the channel construction tool to construct the extension of the inner bands and the outer bands. And we've taken them all the way out to the end of 2025. And the upper bound is somewhere, say, between 245 and 270, which is consistent with the number from the previous slide. So this is the 12-month change in the Apple's trailing 12-month earnings. And this is the basic problem that Apple has. That is, for the last several quarters and in the projected future, the 12-month rate of change is around 10% plus or minus, say, 1 or 2%. And since the growth in earnings has sort of flattened out, the stock itself has flattened out. So we'd like to see this growth rate increase to, say, in the 15 to 20% range to see a significant increase or acceleration in the Apple stock price. The same calculation for Meta. The vertical axis is trailing 12-month earnings. This is the blue line. The left-hand axis is the stock price at 28.5 times the trailing 12-month earnings, and that's the orange line. And we are projecting a price in the range of $700 at the end of 2025. So let's see what the technical analysis shows us. This is monthly data for Meta, and the indicator is the automatic regression channel indicator going back 50 months with a default plus or minus 1 and plus or minus 2.5 standard deviation bands. And we have extended the bands, the inner and the outer bands, all the way out to the end of 2025. And this range is from, say, 532 to 689, which is not that far from the $700 estimate from the projected earnings. So the technical analysis as well as the estimates from industry are in agreement. This is the 12-month rate of change in the TTM, or the trailing 12-month earnings. And you see the basic problem that Meta has. It had a decline in earnings and a sharp increase in earnings, and now they've come down and they've stabilized again in the, say, 12, 13, 15% range. And again, if the price has to accelerate, then this particular quantity has to accelerate, and we're likely to bump up, say, in the 20 to 30% range for it to give a boost to Meta stock prices. So as I showed you for both Apple and Meta, the 12-month rate of change of the trailing 12-month earnings is relatively flat, and both Apple and Meta are relying on AI and the large language models for accelerating their TTM growth. And we need to watch for acceleration in the 20% range or higher for the stock prices to increase. So if you want to understand, is AI helping Apple or Meta, just look at the 12-month rate of change of the trailing 12-month earnings, and that should give you a sense for how AI is helping them or not. I hope you like, subscribe, and share. The tools I've described are at TrendSpider.com, and you can get them with this link. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.